you look so sad? Tears are in your eyes. Come on to me. When the night is dark, don't know what to do. I'll stand by you. Stand by you. Let nobody hurt you. Stand by you. So it's Sunday. We're counting already, instead of the month, days of the war. It's the 9th day of the war. It's the day of the week in Israel. We had a quiet night since like 9. They let us sleep and we were waken up by rocket attack this morning. But it was good timing for me personally because I managed to have my plant-based coffee replacement, substitute that doesn't cause anxiety, with almond milk and my soya yogurt, and she was sleeping. And right now I have a problem with this part. Fell off. The metal part, if you put too much pressure on it, it does break, and it broke. So we're staying near home base. We had a horrible Saturday, but you know what's great about life is that every day is a new beginning. You don't have to regurgitate the past, and which I tend to do, trying to process it. Regurgitating the past isn't going to help you to form a more positive future. In fact, it blocks you. I had a horrible, horrible Saturday. I had to fight for my territory from these drunk pupils of Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg. And you know what? When I Googled him, I realized what I was up against, and I thought, wow, pick your battles, man. But I definitely I have a plan, a long-term plan, to get involved with Israeli politics to make sure that these groups of extremists do not take over our liberal city where people should live and let live. And when people invade your space, make noise during the war in the so-called name of religion, using religion to promote ideas of violence, racism, and hate, is a very pathetic tool that works. Because guess what? There are very vulnerable people out there, people that are lonely, and they need to cling to a group. They cannot survive on their own. And I don't get it because I'm very individualistic. I've always been. And I would rather, be on my own in a desert than be in a tent with a crowded tent. This is the way I am. I did join a yoga cult. I did join Chabad for a while, but we saw it wasn't a good fit. I think they're okay. They're doing their thing. But cults, and let me reassure you, religion is a cult. Every type of religious group is a cult. It brainwashes people. It oppresses women. It oppresses your biological things. And it can be good, because we all need to have inhibitions. Otherwise, we're living in a jungle. Animals have inhibitions, oftentimes more than people. Oftentimes. They can attack and then they stop. They have inhibitions. So to say somebody's like an animal, it's an insult. You can say somebody's like a person. The whole thing about war makes me think about what is humanity, makes me think about big philosophical questions about what makes people so violent. And the thing is that you cannot deal with violence in a peaceful way. I asked them several times through years of living there to be quiet. They took over a synagogue, they make terrible noise, and it becomes worse and worse. And then I thought during the war, we can have some truce. And I thought they were coming for a short prayer, but no. The whole Saturday, They let their kids run around unsupervised, and the kids are so sad because they don't have any limits. They drag those kids like stray cats. They're in the yard, not supervised, screaming their heads off. And this is for hours. And trust me, I'm a very patient person because I worked with kids, small kids. I will never, ever, ever take it out on kids. But the parents are the problem. They're sitting there drinking, consuming what I now know, a lot of alcohol. They get drunk on Saturdays and they stay and they occupy this synagogue and use it as a base. And it's mainly their own people that come far away from Tel Aviv in a settlement that has caused Israel very big problems. They attack soldiers, they attack their Arab neighbors. They are the worst of the worst. And I worked in prison as a teacher, and I recognize the criminal elements that put on a yarmulke, and all of a sudden, they're clean. And it doesn't work like that. Because if you're not nice to people around you, forget about religion. And it says it in our scriptures, Derech Eretz Kodemet LaTorah, which means, first of all, you have to behave in the land way. You have to behave nice towards your neighbors, treat other people with respect before you go to the scriptures. And the scriptures are building blocks, First you have to have foundations. And I have to say, I met this nice couple who all of a sudden they became religious. And then he says to me, oh, I'm sitting with my wife and we're having a talk. And then I thought, what a shitty thing to say. When I was a young married couple, I never, ever, ever said it to a neighbor, they're not neighbors, they live around here. And they're very saintly and holy, and he always has a book, and he walks around dressed in his little religious uniform, because every day is pouring for the religious ones. But how dare you? A person, like when I see an elderly person, I'm old myself, but when I see people older than me, there is endless patience I will give them, because I know what it's like. And when I was young, I had the same feeling. When you meet somebody, and it's like the song from Bette Midler, it says, old rivers, they go wilder every day, but old people, they just get lonely for someone to say, hello out there, hello. Those people are amazing. And I know I do talk a lot, but the thing is, they gave me a feeling like, we are very important, our time is more important than yours, and fuck off. And that's not religious, is it? And then I realized I will not give my time to people like that. People who disrespect you, do not give your time to them. And thank God I have to say, I have amazing conversations here with people. But people that say, oh, we're busy with ourselves, why don't you stay home then? You're sitting on a park bench in a public place, and okay, you want to be outside, but maybe I also, to be honest, don't respect limits, because my need to talk at that moment after what I underwent was big. And then he said that he loves Rabbi Yitzchak, what's his name? I forgot the name all of a sudden. I don't want to remember it, this rabbi. But when I Googled, got more and more information, and I realized this man is leading a sect of very vicious, violent people that attack people, that are for violence, that justify killings. And I'm not talking about at a time when somebody's attacking like Iran is attacking us, or was about to attack us with nuclear weapons. I'm talking about attacking a peaceful person sitting in their home just because you have this neurotic idea that this is what you have to do, and this is what the rabbi teaches you. Completely contrary to peaceful teachings of the Torah as I see it. And a lot of people see it. And thank God. And they become like jihadists, except they're Jewhadists. And it's a very small section, but we have to deal with these people. Because if they come here to this liberal area, and they have apartments here, and apartments here cost a fortune. My family has been here for hundreds of years, and my parents worked very hard for everything. And then they come here. We have to deal with this oppression fascists.